was, according to related to Moses. As his father-in-law, as his wife's father, he was a priest of Midian. And Jethro said, "Blessed be the Lord, who hath delivered you out of the hand of the Egyptians, and out of the hand of Pharaoh, who hath delivered the people from under the hand of the Egyptians. Now I know that the Lord is greater than all gods, for in the thing wherein thou dealt proudly, he was above them." Amen. I got the right God. Amen. I got the right one. I got the right one. I'm on the winning side. It may not look like we're winning right now, but we're winning. It may not look like the church is going to make it, but the church will make it. It may look like right now the church is so infiltrated and so rotten and so corrupted that there'll be nobody here when Christ comes. Don't get the Elijah syndrome. They will be. We'll be here, and we'll be looking for him. In Isaiah chapter number 40, verse 6, it says, "The voice said, cry, and he said, what shall I cry? All flesh is grass, and all the goodness thereof is as the flower of the field. The grass withereth, the flower fadeth, because the Spirit of the Lord bloweth upon it. Surely the people is grass. The grass withereth, the flower fadeth, but the word of our God shall stand forever." Amen. Amen. And then this last scripture. And man, does this not make you think. Psalm chapter number 78, verse 41. "Yea, they turned back."
Management, ownership, or advertisers of WLAF TV 12, 1450 WLAF Radio, FM 100.9, or 1450WLAF.com.
When every second counts, count on Vital Care MedTrans. You do have a choice when it comes to ambulance service in this area. So when you call 911, ask for the best.
Wait a minute, are you Vital Care?
Yes, we are.
Good.
State-of-the-art equipment and a well-trained staff who stand ready to respond to your call. That's Vital Care MedTrans, when nothing but the best will do.
Am I on, Honeybee? Thank you, Honeybee. We're back. We're back. I just had a call. Somebody wondered if we was going to be here. Folks, it wasn't because I didn't want to be on last week, and I had a lot of stuff to talk about last week, and I was really fired up. The station was down last week. It wasn't me. It wasn't that I wasn't here, because I did come and stayed a little while just in case it came back up. But the station was down last week, and it was not my fault. Wasn't anything WLAF could do about it. It was something to do with Comcast. And I think it took them about 24 hours to get it fixed. It was an issue with Comcast, not with the station here, but it just wasn't on, and that's why we weren't on last week, because I actually came by just in case it did come back on before the showtime. So got a couple things to talk about tonight. A couple of them is going to be very controversial, I think. So before I start, I want you to know that everything I say tonight is my opinion. Nothing else but that, my opinion. You can choose to believe what I'm saying. You can choose not to believe what I'm saying. You can not give a flip about what I'm saying. However you want to do it, whatever you want to do. But it's my opinion based on how I feel about things. I just want you to understand that. Okay? It's my opinion. So if you choose not to believe a word I say, hey, you're grown adults, hopefully, and that's your opinion to do that. So I want you to know that some of the things I say tonight, everything I say tonight, is based on my opinion, strictly 100% my opinion. So I just want you to know that we're going to talk about a couple of lawsuits. We're going to talk about the road superintendent and a lawsuit there. So we're going to talk about 3 lawsuits. And then later on, I'm going to have a poll. I want to take a poll tonight, okay, on an upcoming race, and want to get your opinions on this. So we're gonna have a good time with that poll. See how you feel about that. So, but let's get started with this thing. So, the first thing I want to say is I miss my buddy Jim Slusher real bad. And something's happened in the last couple of weeks about these lawsuits that just, folks, I'm going to read this to you, and I hope it riles you up just as much as it riled me up when I got it. Okay? Jim Slusher's gone. He's passed away. He ain't coming back. Okay? He'll never be on this show again. I'll never talk to him again. Okay? He's gone. But apparently, and this is my opinion, I'm telling you that, that's not enough for some people. That's just not enough. Okay? And mainly on that, I'm referring to lawsuits with Marie Ayers and the Senior Citizen Center as far as Jim Slusher's concerned. Okay? I want to know how you all feel about this, but I want to read it to you. Okay? There's going to be a hearing. It says, to all defendants and their attorneys, comes the plaintiff in Marie Ayers by and through her attorney and would give notice to the defendants on Wednesday, April 6th at 9 a.m. or as soon thereafter as counsel may be heard at the circuit courtroom, that's Judge McAfee's court, in Jacksboro, Tennessee. The plaintiff will move the court to conduct a hearing on the plaintiff's motion for substitution of defendant or motion for leave to amend, which has been filed in this case. This was sent to me because I'm a party to this lawsuit. Okay? This is what it says, folks. This is Marie Ayers through her attorney. This is your county commissioner. Some of you is county commissioner. Okay? Comes the plaintiff in Marie Ayers by and through her attorney pursuant to Rule 25.01 parentheses 1 of the Tennessee Rules of Civil Procedure and would move the court that the legal representative of the estate of the defendant, James A. Slusher, deceased, be substituted as a defendant in the place of defendant James A. Slusher herein. Alternatively, in the event that there is no legal representative of the estate of defendant James A. Slusher, the plaintiff moves the court to appoint an administrator ad litem, whatever that is, to be appointed by this court in order to be substituted as defendant in place of the defendant James A. Slusher herein. The plaintiff would move further that the court to grant the plaintiff leave to amend her original complaint as a result of the defendant James A. Slusher. Okay? If you didn't understand that, folks, I've talked to our attorney. And what it means is Jim Slusher dying wasn't enough in this case, in my opinion, and from what I understand. That wasn't enough for Marie Ayers. She wants more. Okay? And I'm not saying Marie Ayers had anything to do with Jim Slusher's dying, but with this deal here, Jim Slusher dying just wasn't enough for her. That didn't satisfy her. She's going after his estate now. She wants to sue his estate. That's what this document says, folks. That on April 6th at 9 o'clock at the circuit court, Judge John McAfee's court, there's going to be a hearing that her attorney is going to present, and I assume Mr. Slusher's attorney or Jim's estate, Jim's widow. She's trying to include Jim's widow in his estate, folks. That just galled me when I read that and I saw that, okay? This man has passed away. He's gone, okay? But from the way I'm reading it, that's just not enough. It's just not enough, okay? From the way I'm reading it, she's now wanting to sue his estate because he's no longer here. She's wanting to sue his estate, okay? And I got a call from the attorney on the senior citizen lawsuit, okay? I don't have that documentation. I assume I will be getting it very shortly, but the attorney for the senior citizen on our side, the defendant's side, or whatever we are, okay, they're doing the same thing. Instead of, see, they had the option just to drop Mr. Slusher completely. Since he's passed away, he's gone. They had that option to drop him completely, Okay? According to these documents, they've decided that's just not good enough for them. They want to sue his estate. You know, which include, to me, his estate, which includes his widow. I know her very well, okay? But I don't get it, folks. I just don't get it. This man has passed away. He's gone. And from what I'm reading, the opinion I'm getting out of this, and again, it's just my opinion. You can take it however you want to take it, okay? That's just not enough for these folks. It's not enough for Marie Ayers that Mr. Slusher passed away. She's now wanting to sue his estate. The Senior Citizen Center, from what my attorney told me today on that case, they're wanting to do the same thing. Again, I don't have that documentation, but I trust what my attorney told me just this afternoon when he contacted me, okay, and told me that yes, I don't know when that hearing is, okay. Now, they have to go before Judge McAfee to see if he will allow this. I hope he doesn't allow it, okay. I just hope he doesn't allow it. I don't know what the rules are, the regulations are on that. I don't know. But I hope he doesn't allow it. You know, I think, to me, my opinion, it's awful that somebody would do that. Since this man is dead, he's passed away, he's gone. And that just, from the appearance of it, that just doesn't seem to be enough for these people. They want to rub that wound just a little bit more. That's my opinion. That's the way it appears to me. Okay? So you folks can look at it however you want to. It's just, you know, let's see what we got. You're on the air.
Yes, I'd like to see the family do a countersuit for wrongful death.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I haven't talked to Marilyn about that. I would like to see the same kind of thing. I'm with you on that. I'd like to see the same kind of thing. I have not spoken to Marilyn about that. I won't talk to Marilyn about that. The only thing I've discussed about Marilyn is about Jim, and about, trying to help her when she calls me and asks me a couple of things to help her through the process she's going through. Me and my wife are very good friends with her, and we're if she calls and asks us. But I'm not going to get into the legal side of it. I've not talked to her about it. I've not asked her about it, other than, excuse me, when this document came in, I did call her and ask her, did she receive this? And we're both just shocked that they're wanting to go this route. I'm sorry, but that's just shocking. That it's just, to me, again, my opinion, that's just not enough for these folks, Marie Ayers and the Senior Citizen Center, that Jim Slusher's gone. It's not enough.
Well, it sure is a shame.
It is a shame. Greed
is going to bring this whole country down.
So, well, and that's, you said that, I didn't. So, I don't know what it is, but I think,
I'll say it again. A wrongful death suit, and I'm sure she'd have a lot of people behind her in the family.
Yeah.
Would have a lot of people behind her.
Yeah. So, but, well.
That's my vote.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. I'm trying to not get too deep into that kind of thing, and seriously, those kind of things, folks, I'm going to respect Marilyn Slusher, Jim's widow. I don't talk to her about those kind of things. My wife does not talk to her about those kind of things. If Miss Slusher wants to get into those kind of things, that's up to her totally. Okay. She has a son who's an attorney. Now, he practices in another state, but I'm sure he's given her guidance, and I don't ask her about that. It's none of my business, okay? Miss Slusher's gone through a rough time. Her husband passed away 2 months ago. She's gone through a rough time. She don't need to be dealing with this, okay? So we're Miss Slusher's friends, and if she needs our help doing something, we're going to help her, Okay, this is, you know, if she needs something from us, we're gonna help her, but we don't get into her personal business. We're not asking her about anything like that. It's, you know, we're just supporting our friend like most of you folks normally would, you would do in this situation, you know, but, this here, when I got this, and I hadn't received one about the senior center, but I did get a call just today. You know, got contacted by the attorney for the senior center, and he said they're doing the same thing. You know, I mean, you folks can think the world of that senior center if you want to, and I'm not trying to tell you one way or another whether you like what's going on down there or not, but it's just my opinion. You know, Mr. Slusher's passed away. We all know what happened. You know, to me, the human thing to do, the right thing to do, is just to leave him out of it now. Okay, that's just me. You're on the air.
Hello?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, I have a question.
Okay.
If they dropped it against Mr. Slusher,
Yes.
they still continue with it against you?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
So,
My part doesn't change.
okay.
Yeah, my part. I mean, they could choose to drop it against me also, but my part doesn't change.
Okay, well, I got one little bit of advice. When
Nope.
you poke the bear, expect to get bit. Goodbye.
Thank you. You're on the air.
Yeah, hey, Jerry.
Yes.
I tell you what, I hope the other judge, what's his name, Sexton, I hope he does drop it.
No, that's Judge McAfee.
Oh, well, I hope he drops it.
Yeah, it's Judge McAfee.
But I want to tell you, the people that voted for this lady here for commissioner,
Yeah.
they ought to look at and see what kind of clash that they put in there.
Yeah.
Because I'm telling you, anybody, hey, it's bad enough to have something to do, maybe cause the death, but anybody, I don't know how to even say it, but I think it's a disgrace to go against somebody that's lost their life, and you can see it ain't towards him. What they want is just money. That's all it is.
Yeah.
And I'm like the other lady. Greed will take it out. It will take it out of this world, buddy.
Yeah. So, and I don't know one way or another what the point is. Okay, I'm not going to give an opinion what the point is. I don't know
Well,
what her point is, but just like I said, when I saw that there is a motion here to replace Jim Slusher with his estate, and then that also means his widow.
Yeah.
Brother, that just
He's disrespecting the dead. But I'm telling you, my opinion,
yeah,
there's a better clash went on than that's still here.
yeah,
That's all I can say. It's just, hey, there ain't enough money in Campbell County to get me to vote for that woman.
yeah. So,
I mean, they wouldn't.
yeah,
Like that.
okay. I appreciate you calling, brother.
Thank you.
Thank you. So, folks, I just wanted you to know what was going on in those lawsuits. You know, you all can feel about it however you want to feel about it. Okay, I'll give you my opinion of it. It's just like that one lady said. Obviously, she's a supporter of Marie Ayers, and that's fine. You know, she's welcome to her opinion also. Okay. I just wish she would leave Miss Slusher and the family alone. That's me. Okay, she doesn't have to. She can do what she wants to. But like this one person said here, you know, I mean, this one person said, you know, come next election, he's going to remember this. Okay, that's up to you folks. That's got nothing to do with me. I don't live in that district. It's not my district. You know, so, but. So I just gave my opinion on it, only on this part of it. So, but and it's the senior citizen thing too. So, but let's talk about the senior citizen thing. Just a minute. Let me see if I got some more documentation here. You're on the air.
Hello, Jerry.
Hey.
I heard what you said. And this is my opinion. It takes a low-life piece of trash to do something like that. Somebody whose life like that. He was a good man.
Yeah. unfortunately, he just, he, for whatever reason, he couldn't handle the pressure of these, of the lawsuits. And I don't know, I don't know why, just, I don't want to get into that, but, he just, but he's gone, he's gone. And I can't believe that, to me, my opinion, I just can't believe that's not being respected.
I can't either. I can't think it nothing no lower than something like that.
Yeah.
I've never heard such after the dollar.
Yeah.
They'll bust hell wide open for things like that. Worshiping the dollar over people. She can't be a Christian. Her doing.
Well, now I'm not going to get into that. I'm not going to get into that. So
not judging, but by your works. And the Bible says, by your works you shall know them.
Yeah.
And that's all I got to say. And I can't really say what I think about her right now.
Yeah. So, well, and I can't either, to be honest with you. Okay. But I did want you folks out there to know where this thing stands. Okay. Just because when I got this letter, it blew my mind. It just, I thought, and several people I'd talked to thought the decent thing to do, our opinions, my opinion, the decent thing to do was just to drop him out of it. I knew my part would continue. I knew I would still be sued. I knew that would be continued. Okay. If she wants to keep that, but I just thought the decent thing to do, again, my opinion, the decent was just drop it, against him and not get his family involved in his estate and all that. Just, the man is gone.
And she didn't have a thing to do with it.
So, but, so there you go.
I appreciate that, Jerry. I'm sorry to hear about all this.
Okay, thank you, buddy.
Night, Jerry.
You too, buddy. So, let's talk about the senior citizen situation just a minute. Okay, there's on the senior citizen lawsuit. I don't have a copy of that lawsuit with me, but I want you to know, Mr. Slusher was sued. I was sued. Lurla Murphy was sued. Bruce Burkett was sued, and Jerry Kidd was sued. Okay, Jerry Kidd, I think most of you know, is Hazel Valley. When he calls in, he's Hazel Valley. Okay. Well, he's went on his own, and I've got the document right here. He's went on his own, and he has filed a countersuit against every member of the Senior Citizen Board, individually and in their capacity that they serve, whether it's Butch Kohlmeyer in his official capacity as director of the Campbell County Senior Center, other members as members of the board, one here is president of the board, another one here is treasurer of the board, okay, and the rest of them in their official capacity as members of the board. I think there's 14 of them, I believe, but he sued every one of them for $1.5 million. Okay, I'll go this far as to say that there's going to be service. I've talked to Mr. Kidd. There's going to be service of these lawsuits against all of these people. On this lawsuit right here, I'll go this far as to say when you open that door and you're served with that lawsuit, don't close it too quick because there might be another one or two behind it. Okay. I can't tell you that for sure right now, but there might be another one or two behind it. Okay, so you folks out there that can do this suing and all that, that sometimes goes both ways. That can come back at you. I don't know, but I know in the case of Jerry Kidd, it is. You're on the air.
Jerry,
Yes.
I'll tell you something.
Okay.
You stayed up. You stayed up for you stayed up for Jim Fletcher. And if you can any at all, you have his wife sue them for everything. Sue them for the clothes off their back.
Well, I've not talked to his widow. I've not talked to Marilyn about that. It's none of my business. It's up to her to do such a thing if she wants to. I don't think she will. I really don't think she will. I think what she's hoping is that when this goes before the judge on April 6th, that the judge will look at it, and I'm sure she's going to have an attorney there, that the judge will look at it and say, hey, you've got no business doing this, and this is not going to be done this way. Now, they could go out and file another lawsuit later on if they wanted to, okay? That might be what they choose to do, go file a separate lawsuit. But I think that, once the judge looks at it and says, if he says, I'm not going to allow this to happen, and you never know what a judge is going to do, you don't. So, I just thought, in my opinion, personally, I thought the right thing to do would be to on his side of it, all the way to let it go.
Exactly right.
But, I just wanted you folks to know what's going on, and,
People in this town, they try to push them in to something, like give everything they got asked, because if certain people don't want certain people doing things.
Yeah.
They don't want them to make a living, they don't want them to do this, they don't want them to do that.
Right.
They don't care to sit down there, take our tax dollars, spend them judiciously.
Yeah.
Just get out and just spend it any way they want today.
Yeah. So.
They don't want the taxpayers to stand up to them.
No, they do not want the taxpayers to stand up. You're absolutely right about that. They do not want to hear from you. As a matter of fact, the mayor, last meeting that I was at, he's thinking about changing the way citizens are allowed to speak at the meeting. He's trying to get it to where they limit it again, like Mr. Baird, almost like Mr. Baird did when he was the mayor. So, on the county side of it. So, I got another call.
Because he don't want people to stand up and give their opinion.
Well, I was real shocked when the mayor took that stance the other night.
I'm not shocked,
Yeah.
because he's been in there a year and a half,
Yeah.
and he still hasn't stood up for the people in Campbell County.
Right.
That is one of the things that he said he was going to do, and I'm highly disappointed in him.
Right. Yeah, I am too for right now, especially after that deal. Okay, thank you.
Oh, okay, thank you.
You're on the air.
In all reality, Jerry, does it really shock anyone, the actions of Marie Ayers? Going by her past actions, does this really shock anyone?
Well, I don't know what you mean by past actions, and I don't, but I look at this, and it just mesmerized me, and some people I've talked to, this other officials in the county, just said that they just can't believe it, because at some point in time, what I consider the decent thing, you would have thought would have came out, but it didn't.
Right.
My opinion.
And that's my opinion also. It just, actions like this does not shock me.
Right. So, I guess I tried to put a little more faith in human kindness than what you're saying. But I got a reality shock, didn't I?
You did. It's called greed.
I got a reality shock. So there you go. So, but that's what's going on. So, but like I said, some of these folks that have filed these lawsuits, especially in this senior citizen deal, because Jerry Kidd's, he's done filed a lawsuit. He's suing every one of these people for $1.5 million a piece. Okay, not just together, a piece. So he ain't gonna get that, I don't think. But he's probably got a good case.
He's got as good a chance as they do.
And you would think that's true, wouldn't you?
Absolutely.
So there you go. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
So, but I don't know all these members of the Senior Citizen Center. I know several of them. I don't know all of them. But I do know they're all listed. Okay? They're all listed. And they are all going to get. Okay? Let me read you what this is directly from Jerry Kidd's lawsuit. It's public record. Any one of you can go get a copy of it, okay? It says, plaintiff has spent several years enjoying and exercising his First Amendment right of the United States Constitution, and Article 1, Section 19 of the Tennessee State Constitution guarantees of free speech without committing libel or slander of any individual or corporation in Campbell County or areas within local television. You got a typo there, Jerry. You need to go back and look at that. You got a typo. Within local television and radio distance. Plaintiff has sent letters to editors of local weekly newspapers, and some have got another typo there, Jerry. Some has been printed. Should be some have been printed. The exercise of these liberties has never been abused by the plaintiff, nor has he ever been irresponsible in the free expression of his views and opinions. The defendants individually and or collectively have conspired and acted to abridge and limit the plaintiff's constitutional right to freedom of speech and the press by filing a frivolous and capricious lawsuit against plaintiff to frighten, cajole, bully, and threaten him into being quiet and putting away his pen. That plaintiff has individually or collectively have conspired and acted to abridge and limit the plaintiff's free exercise of the following statutes, which are incorporated fully herein by reference and will be read in their entirety at the trial to cause wit. Again, that's the First Amendment to the United States Constitution guaranteeing our freedom of speech. Article 1, Section 19 of the Tennessee Constitution guarantees the same thing. So, and what he's saying in his lawsuit is that by filing their lawsuits, he feels like that it's just they've been filed, if I'm understanding this right, and he can call and tell me if I'm wrong, if I'm understanding this right, is that he's saying that basically he feels like they filed their lawsuits just to shut him up, okay? He feels, and he's told me several times, he feels like, in his opinion, that they filed those lawsuits to shut me up, shut Mr. Slusher up, certainly shut Miss Lurley Murphy up, and shut Bruce Burkett up. Okay? Again, I would go ahead, and he's suing for compensatory, okay, damages, $750,000, punitive damages, $750,000. And this is against each one of them, folks. It's not totally, it's against each person. Okay? So, and I would go ahead and say this, and I feel confident in what I'm saying, but I don't know for sure. I really don't know for sure, but I feel confident that in this lawsuit here, against the senior center, when you get served this one, don't close that door too quick, because there might be another one or two behind it. Okay? This one here on Marie Ayers might be a counter lawsuit there. We never know. We never know about these things. Okay? So, you know, we're going to never know about these things. You know? So, you can do that how you want to do it. Okay? So, I also wanted to talk about, we've talked about if y'all want to talk about the lawsuits a little more, we can talk about that. I'm not going to give a lot of opinions on that, but I just want to know where they stand and what's going on, okay? Because the newspapers have been real loud and clear. WLAF has been real loud and clear. The Christian Journal Leader has been real loud and clear. To point out that these other lawsuits have been filed against us, okay? Mr. Kidd filed this lawsuit a week and a half ago. I've yet to read anything in any of the newspapers or WLAF or anywhere about this lawsuit. I've yet to read that anywhere, even though it's been filed. But yet the lawsuits that were filed against us were headline stories, okay? So, so if the other places are not going to talk about it, let you all know what's going on, let you know the truth, okay? And the truth is there's been lawsuits filed, okay? There's been amendments filed and all that, but they don't let you know everything that's going on. I want to try to do that, okay? I want to talk about our road superintendent for a couple of minutes, okay? As we all know, a former employee, and I'm not going to give that name, and if you call in here, please don't mention any names. A former employee was fired by the road superintendent in the last 2 or 3 months. I don't know how long ago it was. Okay. Shortly after that, he got him an attorney and he filed suit. Okay. Well, this attorney has tried his doggonedest to say that Mr. Dilbeck is not qualified to serve as the road superintendent. Okay, when you go to elections, okay, each seat has its qualifications that you have to. You have like a high school diploma, be a resident. Okay, some of them even require you. I think a couple of them require you to be a registered voter. Not all of them do. But each seat has different qualifications that you have to meet that. Okay. There are 2 positions on the county level, the sheriff's department and the road superintendent, that you have to go before a board. I think both of them are in Nashville. You have to go before a board and show your credentials and show your proof that you are qualified to be eligible to run for that position. And they certify that you are eligible to run for that position. Okay? Well, in Mr. Dilbeck's case, that came up last week or last Tuesday or something like that. Okay. Basic qualifications for the County Highway Chief's Administrative Office. Okay. Wow, my time's okay. Shall reside within the county. Shall be a registered, shall be, there's basic qualifications of TCA 8-18-101, okay? And basically that means that, you've never been convicted of a felony. There's a couple in there, I think, you cannot be in default of a judgment against the state in tax liens. I think it's tax liens. The state or federal government or your county, you can't be in default of tax liens. So you have to be all that, okay? So, but also shall file affidavits and such other evidence as the Tennessee Highway Officials Certification Board shall require with the board not later than 14 days prior to the qualifying deadline for candidates in a popular election. Okay, a person, listen here now, this is one of the requirements. A person shall, not maybe, not it's up for grabs, but shall have at least a high school diploma or GED and meet one of the following criteria. Number 1, be licensed to practice engineering in Tennessee. Mr. Dilbeck doesn't meet that requirement. He has a high school diploma. I have a copy of it right here. I'm going to show it to you in a minute. Mr. Dilbeck is not licensed to practice engineering in the state of Tennessee. I don't think he is. Be a graduate of accredited school of engineering with at least 2 years experience in highway construction or maintenance. And these are followed up by ORs. Okay, they're ORs. Each one of these is an OR. Okay, I don't think Mr. Dilbeck meets that criteria. Okay, or have a combination of education and experience equivalent to either of the above. I don't think Mr. Dilbeck meets that one. Okay, or number 4, have at least 4 years experience in a supervisory capacity in highway construction or maintenance. Mr. Dilbeck meets that criteria. Okay. Right here is the document back in 2008, okay, when Mr. Potter, Dennis Potter, our road superintendent, he signed this. Jeff Marlowe, our finance director, signed it. The payroll supervisor, April Greenwood, she signed it too as a witness, where Mr. Potter promoted Mr. Dilbeck to the position of supervisor. That was 2008, folks. Mr. Dilbeck took the position of the road superintendent last year. So at least 6 years, he was a supervisor, duly noted and documented in our finance office. Okay? So, he meets that last criteria. Right here is a copy of Mr. Dilbeck's high school diploma, Campbell County High School, May 27th, 1988. Gosh, he's younger than me, so much younger than me. But Mr. Dilbeck, and this is signed by Kenneth Miller, Howard St. John, and I don't know who else has signed this, but this is Mr. Dilbeck's diploma, okay? So Mr. Dilbeck took his credentials. There was a hearing, a certification hearing, down in Nashville last week, or a week before, I forget when it was. And the attorney for the other fella, I think he was on the phone discussing with them, trying to show them that Mr. Dilbeck's not qualified, okay? I think that meeting lasted about an hour and a half, and when it was over with, that certification board voted unanimously to approve Mr. Dilbeck's candidacy to run for that position. They unanimously said he is qualified to run for that position. Right here is a copy of the certification, the certificate they gave Mr. Dilbeck when they voted, telling him you are qualified to run for that position. Okay? So, the other person that was dismissed from the office, through his attorney, the attorney, his point was, he kept saying all along, according to the article on WLAF that I read, and according to the documentation that you've seen, the attorney has kept saying Mr. Dilbeck's not qualified. And according to the lawsuit, there's a lawsuit. Do I have that with me? Let me go to the article. Okay. There is going to be a hearing, another hearing, on April 6th. I think it's in Judge McAfee's court again. It wasn't enough that this certification board said unanimously Mr. Dilbeck is qualified for that position, to run for that position, okay? According to the article in WLAF, I think Susan Sharp wrote this article, it's a very good article, okay? Mr. Potter apparently went to Nashville with Mr. Dilbeck and presented this evidence with him, okay? And they approved Mr. Dilbeck unanimously, okay? Well, apparently, according to this attorney, that wasn't enough. That wasn't enough. He's wanting it heard in front of a jury, apparently. According to the article, it says here that he would, he never says, I never intended to get my relief in Nashville. I want this question of qualification in front of a Campbell County jury. This is quotes from an article on WLAF, okay? Now, the whole contention is Mr. Dilbeck is not qualified. Now, this is going to get funny, folks. You got to put your logic hat on here. I want you to put your logic hat on, and I want you to think about the logic of what I'm getting ready to tell you, okay? Now, there's a question of logic here. It really is, okay? So this attorney is saying that Mr. Dilbeck is not qualified for that position, okay? And one of the requirements is a high school diploma or a GED or something, equivalent to that, okay? Well, the question was put to this attorney about his client's education standing, and according to the article, the client does not have a high school diploma or a GED. I don't know. I don't know one way or another. I'm just basing it on what I'm reading from the article. Okay, the article says this client, the attorney's client, does not have. Okay, but according to the article, that attorney says that doesn't matter. He should have been appointed anyway. He was entitled. Okay, folks, I didn't know we were entitled to any position in county government. Okay, unless you were elected. If you got elected, then yeah, you're entitled to that. But I didn't know anybody is entitled to be appointed to anything, okay? But that's just my opinion from what I'm reading here in this article. It says he was entitled and required to be appointed under state statute is what, the quote here. And as far as his client's education and literacy skills, according to the article, said the client's limited education, literacy skills, the attorney is quoted as saying it doesn't matter. Okay? So on one hand, according to this article, the attorney is saying Mr. Dilbeck is not qualified and should have not been appointed to this position. But on the other hand, according to what I'm reading in this article, it says, I know my client's not qualified, but he should have been appointed. So how can you go from this man's not qualified and he shouldn't be appointed to saying, I understand my client's not qualified, but he should have been appointed? I don't get it, folks. Somebody tell me the logic there. I don't get the logic. That's just, I don't get it. Okay, that's just my opinion from what I'm reading from this article, because I wasn't there. I didn't hear the quotes. I'm reading this article here on WLAF. Okay, so again, it's a very good article, but there's apparently going to be a hearing in front of Judge McAfee on April 6th. Again, it sounds like Judge McAfee's going to have a fairly exciting day that day. So, but this is one that, I kind of wish, my opinion, I kind of wish Mr. Dilbeck could sue somebody. I don't think he's going to. He's not interested in that, but I kind of wish he would sue somebody, because from what I've seen, to me, I think his name is being dragged through the mud, and just all kinds of dispersions cast against him. That's just my opinion. I wish he'd sue somebody over some of this. But he's in the position, and now he's not an elected official at this point in time, unless you consider him to be elected by the county commission, because they approved him. That may be considered an election, I don't know, but they approved him for that position. He's never been elected by the citizenry. Okay, he's got an election coming up this summer. 100%, I intend to vote for him. Okay, he's not done everything to what I like. He knows that. He's what I'd like to see him done. He knows that. But I think he's absolutely trying to do the best job he can possibly do with what limited funds he's been allowed to have. In a new budget cycle, I think they had the first budget meeting Monday night, and I'll bet you that this year they're going to take some of those funds they gave him last year. They're going to take some of those away. So I mean, what can he do with it? So his hands are, and Mr. Potter's hands were tied, for a long time, and Mr. Dilbeck's same way. So, but he's got an election coming up, but I don't understand some of the things that are going on, some of the lawsuits that are being tossed around. Okay, I know Hazel Valley, Jerry Kidd, and I don't have it with me. I think I've got it on my machine here somewhere. He's also filed a countersuit, and he can call in and correct me if I'm wrong, against Bobby Van. Okay, based upon, and all that's back and forth, based upon a rumor that was spread about a certain situation. Okay, I'm not going to get into that because I don't want to be sued over that. You're on the air.
Hey, Jerry, I'll tell you what. I can say one thing. These lawyers around here is going to get rich.
Well,
they're more. I ain't never in my life seen any.
Well, I mean, what do you think about this? Saying, well, you're not qualified. You never should have been appointed. I know my client's not qualified, but he should have been appointed. Where's the logic there? I don't get that.
I have no idea.
Just the logic just doesn't make sense to me. And I mean, I don't know all the details of the whole thing, but I mean, one of the qualifications is you have to have a high school diploma or a GED. If your client doesn't, and I don't know that he don't have it. I'm just reading this article where it says he doesn't have it. Okay, if he doesn't have it, then he shouldn't be qualified. He's not qualified. It's that simple.
Is that
Please don't mention names.
no, I just ain't say, was it the constable?
No. This is a former employee at the highway department.
Oh, yeah, I know what yeah.
Yeah, this is a former employee at the highway department.
Yeah, I wouldn't say the name, yeah.
Yeah, don't say any names. So I've tried to stay away from names other than.
It's the best thing in the world, too. But I tell you, I've never in my life seen them so freely about suing people.
Well, the state legislature today, and I wish they would do this for everybody. They did this, to me, they did it kind of backwards. I should have went down there and fought for the citizens. They passed a lawsuit that if you sue an elected official and you lose, then you have to pay everybody's attorney fees. But they didn't put in there if an elected official sues you and loses, then they have to pay everything. They did it to protect themselves.
Yeah, but Jerry, I want to tell you that, I think one of the most disgraceful thing I've heard in a long time is the suit about Mr. Slusher.
Oh, yeah.
By not dropping it.
Yeah.
There's decency no matter what.
Right.
Hey, if you ain't got decency for the family, even someone that's lost someone, no matter how they go,
Yeah.
Jerry, they just ain't much for saying anything about the person that's doing it.
Yeah, it's, you know.
I mean, that's my opinion.
Yeah. So I can't say I disagree with you.
It's gonna come out.
Yeah. It's going to come out, and hopefully, hopefully one of these newspapers or maybe WLAF at some point in time will, cover this just as much as they covered the other side of it.
Well, I'll tell you one thing, they sure blasted that other out, didn't they?
Yes, they did.
But I just don't understand why that they're being so biased, though. I really don't.
I don't know. So we'll see what happens after it goes to court on April the 6th.
I'll tell you what people ought to do. Everybody that stood up for Jim Slusher and believes that they should be down there standing in there.
Yeah, I'd like to see that.
Yeah, me too, Jerry.
At the next meeting, I'd like to see that.
And that's April the 6th, right?
Yeah.
And the people ought to get up and go down there and stand up for Mr. Slusher.
Well, I'd much rather see them. I'd much rather them go to the next county commission meeting.
Yeah.
And let some folks there know that what Mr. Slusher meant to them.
Yeah, because I want to tell you what now. I don't care what nobody says or how they go about it. He sure stood up for the people of Campbell County.
He did do that.
He sure did.
He sure did. Thank you, buddy.
All right, thanks, Jerry.
You're on the air.
Yes, sir. I'll tell you the logic that I see about Mr. Potter and Mr. Dillback.
Yeah.
Is Mr. Dillback or Mr. Potter had Red Pet Road up there in Elk Valley paved, and it's the slick as glass, and nobody but the people on that road, which are very few, ride that road.
Yeah.
And also, Mr. Dillback, didn't he pay Kimberly's Lake Access Road? I mean, my goodness, here's Emory Ayers again in the news. There's a road that comes right off the 4-lane, and it's part city and part county. Mike Stanfield has written a letter that was given to Mr. Potter, Mr. Morton, Mr. Wallace, and Mr. Dillback. Nobody has done anything about that. Finally, after call after call after call, Mr. Dillback came up and looked at it. Yeah, it needs to be worked on. Yeah, about 2 weeks. That was a year ago. And so when I called a few months ago, day after day after day, and I never get a call back from him and from his secretary. Isn't she Mr. Potter's wife? She was his secretary when he was in that office.
I think she works in that office. I think she does.
She does. She does. And she's the biggest smart aleck I've ever seen. And I don't know if Mr. Dillback gets my messages or not.
Well,
Mr. Stanfield wrote a letter saying they would work with the county. Now, there's ditches up here deep as my waist.
Up here? Where is up here?
It's College Hill Road.
College Hill Road, okay.
College Hill Road, right off the 4-lane. And I will gesture to say there's not a road more pitiful looking than that road. Anything that's ever been done to that road, the city has done it.
Is it in the city?
Half of it's in the city and half of it's in the county.
Okay.
My dad called it a bastard road because neither one wants food with it.
Now nobody wants to.
But now Mr. Stanfield did write a letter, and I have that letter, and they all have that letter, saying they would work with the county any way they could to get that road fixed. Now I want to know why that hadn't been brought up, or why Mr. Dilbeck can't work on this road. Does he know how?
I'll call him tomorrow and ask him.
Well, I sure would appreciate that.
I will. I'll call him tomorrow and ask him. That's simple.
If you just call me back and let me know what he said.
Yeah, well, you call me back next week and I'll have your answer, okay?
I will.
Okay, then that's College Hill Road.
It sure is.
And I'll try to get a copy of that letter you're talking about. I haven't heard anything about it.
Oh, I can get you that letter, honey. I got it.
Oh, you got a copy of it?
I sure do.
Can you send it to me by email?
No, I can't, but I'd like to give it to you in person.
Okay, that's fine. If you want to bring it up here at the station, that'll be, or, I don't know, I see a lot of you folks out there, and I don't know who a lot of you are. If you see me out and if you got it, hand it to me. Do I ever see you out anywhere?
You probably don't.
Okay, so, I see a lot of folks, and I have a lot of folks talk to me, and most of the time I don't know who you are, and
If Potter's got enough money to pay Red Cut Road, and let me tell you, the turn-ins to the farms and stuff,
yeah.
really nice. And I guess the county paid this Demery Road out through here last couple of weeks ago, and they didn't fix it half as nice as up our Red Cut Road.
Now you're talking about Elk Valley.
Yes, I am.
Now that was Mr. Potter. Mr. Dilbeck was
That
in.
was Mr. Potter.
Yeah,
Now,
Mr.
why would that road need to be passed?
I don't have any idea. I've not been up there in years, so I don't know.
Well, I'll bring you that letter.
Yeah, I'd like to see it. I really would.
I'll bring it to you.
Yeah, bring it to me. If you want to bring it up here at the station, put it in the envelope, leave my name on it. They'll give it to me.
Can they make a copy?
They can make a copy.
All right then. I'll be up there.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
You're on the air.
Hello, Mr. Jerry Chadwell.
Well, hello there.
Our Chamber of Commerce is always trying to think up stuff to promote Campbell County.
Right.
Every county just about in the United States, and I know all of them around us have a county fair. Why can't we have a Campbell County fair?
There's some people working on that.
Really?
There are some people working on that.
Well, I thought they was all asleep.
I don't know where it's gone. I was asked to be on that board. I don't know if the board's ever been put together, but I was asked to be on the board to do that. And I said I would gladly serve on that board. So I honestly don't know where that's at this point in time, but we'll, maybe the mayor or the deputy mayor is watching. Maybe the one of them can text me or call me, fill us in on where that's at. But I know that with E.L. Morton, I know that has been discussed.
Well, I know there's a lot of stuff they could show to most of the county if they could have rides and stuff, and if
yeah, and I'm sure Miss Reynolds, the tourism director, I'm sure she would be all for it. She's with the limited I don't know, supplies or whatever that she's given to do that. She's doing a good job as the tourism and retirement director, especially the tourism. I don't know so much about the retirement, but I know the tourism, but she's pushing as hard as she can push on that. Appears to be doing a real good job, and we've had a couple of things the last couple of years that we've never had before, and so those things are going to continue on, and we're adding to it. So, there's things going on. There are some things that are starting to look up.
Well, they're not all asleep then, are they?
They're not all asleep. The unfortunate part about it is our county commission somehow needs to figure out how we need to put more money in the roads and more money in the schools.
Well, I don't know about them.
Yeah, so there you go. Honeybee, we about done?
They just don't promote Campbell County like they ought to in my book.
Well, I can tell you Miss Reynolds down there is working on it. Okay?
All right.
She's been on the job, I think, about a year, maybe a little less than a year. Might be a year now. I can tell you, promise you, she's working on it.
All righty.
Thank you. Folks, I didn't get time to do the poll. Gosh, I wished I'd have done that. I wished I'd have done that because I really wanted to do that. We're still working on a candidate to run for state representative, and hopefully we'll know more about that next week. So I appreciate you folks. I thank you for watching. Thank you for supporting, and we'll see you next week.
When every second counts, count on Vital Care Med Trends.